I
South
posted this newspaper
Africans,
yesterday.
watch
Many
this
people find
video
it hard to believe.
and
But beyond
tell me
financial
what you
support,
think about this
Nigeria
video.
did so much more
Yes,
to
just
help that
watch.
country. In this video, I will explain all the different ways Nigeria supported South Africa at that time. In case you don't know the meaning of apartheid, it is a system where people are separated and treated unfairly based on their race, especially where black people were denied rights and forced to live separately from white people. That was what happened there. Nigeria was one of the biggest reasons South Africa gained freedom from the wicked system of apartheid. Even though Nigeria is located far away in West Africa, thousands of miles from South Africa, the Nigerian government and its people treated the struggle like it was their own problem. In those days, Nigeria was officially called a frontline state, a title usually reserved for countries that shared a border with South Africa. Nigeria earned this title because they were at the very front of the battle to end racial segregation and oppression. The support started with common people. In the 1970s, the Nigerian government set up what they called the South African Relief Fund. This was not just a case of the government taking money from the national budget. It was a national sacrifice that involved everyone. Nigerian civil servants, university students, market women, and small traders all agreed to give a portion of their monthly earnings to this fund. Even students gave up their pocket money. In just 1 year, Nigeria raised over $10 million. If you calculate that money in today's value, it is worth hundreds of millions. This money was used to pay for the education of South African students and to provide food and housing for the families of those who were killed or locked in jail by the apartheid police. Many South Africans who are top leaders and professionals today were raised and educated with Nigerian money. Nigeria also used its massive influence on the world stage to make life difficult for the white minority government. For 24 years, from 1970 until the end of apartheid in 1994, Nigeria was the permanent head of United Nations Special Committee against Apartheid. They used this high position to shout to the world about the sovereigns in South Africa. They pushed for the world to stop buying South African goods and to stop selling them weapons or oil. They also fought hard to make sure South Africa was banned from international sports like the Olympics, the World Cup, and even cricket. Nigerians' goal was to make sure South Africa is a pariah state, meaning a country that no one wanted to play with or talk to. In 1979, Nigeria made a bold and expensive move to prove they were serious. They decided to nationalize the asset of British Petroleum, which we all know today as BP. They did this because the company was secretly supplying oil to the apartheid government. Nigeria also took over a major international bank for the same reason. By doing this, Nigeria lost a lot of business and billions in potential revenue. But the government said that the freedom of their African brothers and sisters was more important than the oil profit. This move shocked the Western world and forced many big companies to start pulling out of South Africa. To help the leaders of the liberation movement move around, Nigeria did something very special. Since the apartheid government had taken away the passport and citizenship of activists like Nelson Mandela's colleagues, they were stuck and could not travel to explain their problems to the world. Nigeria stepped in and issued Nigerian passports to many South African activists, including the former president Thabo Mbeki. These Nigerian documents were what these leaders used to travel to London, New York, and Paris to meet with world leaders and gather support for their cause. Without this passport, many of the freedom fighters would have been trapped inside or outside their country with no way to speak up. In 1986, Nigeria showed its leadership again by organizing a massive boycott of the Commonwealth Games in Scotland. Nigeria's government argued that it was hypocritical to play games with countries that were still supporting the apartheid regime behind the scene. They convinced over 30 other countries across Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean to stay away from the event. This left the stadiums empty and caused a huge international scandal that forced the British government and others to finally listen to the demand for heavyweight economic sanctions. Beyond the big politics, Nigeria was a home for many. They provided free university education for hundreds of South African refugees at a time when black people in South Africa were only allowed to receive Bantu education, which was designed to keep them as servants. These students lived in Nigerian dormitories for years, and the government paid for their flight tickets, their tuition, their books, and even their monthly feeding allowance. Nigeria also funded and hosted a radio station called Radio Freedom. This allowed the African Nation Congress to broadcast message of hope and instructions back to their people inside South Africa when they were banned from the local radio. Nigeria sacrificed its own wealth, diplomatic relationship with the West, and its natural resources for decades. This is why when the legendary Nelson Mandela was finally released from prison in 1990, one of the first countries he flew to was Nigeria. He came to say a big thank you to the people who stood by them when the rest of the world was silent.
Nigeria has given us a lot of financial and material support. They have assisted us not only in the form of funds, and in that respect, they have been among the most generous donors to our coffers.
The freedom South Africa enjoys today is a victory that was heavily funded and defended by Nigeria. See, that time, Nigeria was powerful and influential. Nigeria was like the father of Africa. In fact, they were looking after other countries. The nickname Giant of Africa was not earned only by population. At that time, when Nigeria coughed, Africa shake. By now, South Africans are supposed to be respecting any Nigerian living in their country. But guess what? The mighty has fallen. How the Iroko tree used fall, my brother, I know fit explain. Or maybe I don't know where to start from.